Hello again, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. And in today's video, I wanted to take a quick look at the Fedora 30 beta, which was just recently released. On my channel, I did already do a quick review of the beta for Ubuntu 19.04, which is also an upcoming distribution based on GNOME. And I thought it was only fitting to check out Fedora as well. So let's go ahead and check out the Fedora 30 beta. So here is Fedora 30, the beta, running on the System 76 Darter Pro, which System 76 was nice enough to let me borrow. I did do a review on this laptop already. It's already on my channel. So I have to send this back, unfortunately, but I wanted to get a few more distributions running on this one. And the Fedora 30 beta was something I definitely wanted to try. So what you're seeing here is the main screen you see when you first boot into Fedora 30. So what I'm going to do straight away is go ahead and install it. I'm going to go ahead and run through this a little bit fast because I will do a full review of Fedora 30 when it's actually released. So I'm going to go ahead and click Install to Hard Drive. And we'll see if the installer has changed a bit. I haven't seen it yet, and apparently it looks pretty much the same so far. So here's the installer. I'm just going to go through the defaults here. All right, so the internal 250 gig SSD is selected by default, as that's the only disk. I'll click Done. And I'm going to need to reclaim space because, of course, there's already a distribution on that drive. And I'm just going to click Delete All and then Reclaim, and that should empty out the disk. For the time and date, I'll leave that as default, and I'll click Begin Installation. All right, so the installation is complete. I'll click Quit. I'm going to go ahead and reboot into the actual installation. All right, so here's the very first screen that came up. So I'll just go ahead and click Next. Next again. I'm going to leave all this as default. And I do have an option to connect some online accounts. I'm not going to go ahead and worry about that right now. All right. That should be fine. I'm just using a weak password because I don't really care. In this case, it's just a demo. And let's go ahead and start using it. All right, so here we are. The beta of Fedora 30 is installed. And just like before in previous versions, we get the Getting Started guide here from GNOME Help that has some helpful links with how to use the desktop environment. I'm going to go ahead and close that. And in regards to the installation, so far, nothing much has changed. I mean, yes, this is a beta, and they could always change something before final release. At this point, though, I highly doubt they'll change anything this late in the development cycle. And I'm kind of disappointed because the installer, I mean, it's fine. It gets the job done. But there's really nothing much to say about it other than it's the same old, same old. And I was hoping that they would have improved that a bit and maybe change the interface, but I guess that doesn't really matter much since you only see it the one time anyway. So, so far I have to say that the installation process did take about, I want to say 5 minutes or thereabouts, so it's definitely reasonable. All right, so here I am with an empty desktop, and what I'm going to do now is just go ahead and open a Files window. And the reason for that is to highlight the new theme. So Fedora doesn't actually change much at all. They basically just ship GNOME as intended by the developers. They do make some changes here and there, but only minor changes. So what you're basically seeing, other than the wallpaper, of course, is stock GNOME. So this is the new theme that ships with GNOME 3.32, which is the latest version of GNOME. So I have to say that I'm actually pretty disappointed with the new theme for GNOME. The GNOME developers made a very big deal about this, that it was a very big thing. And rightfully so it is. GNOME desperately needs a redesign when it comes to the theme. And I think pretty much everybody will agree, even those like myself that prefer GNOME will all say that the theme leaves quite a bit to be desired. And the theme here is just pretty much the same. I mean, it does look nicer for sure. It's got, rounded corners. The color gradients are better. And it's a little bit flatter, but overall, it's really not that much different from the theme in the past. I was kind of hoping that they would have gone and maybe redesigned it a little bit more than they did. But I'm glad to see that they did actually put some attention to detail into theme at all, which they haven't done in quite some time. So if I was to go back to the activities switcher here and show the running applications, you can see some of the icons that are being used here. And you're probably not going to see much different other than the GNOME apps. For example, the Firefox icon looks exactly the same as it would in any other release of GNOME. And the reason why is because they're going to, as far as I understand, default to the theme that the package maintainer or the developer of the software prefers to ship rather than redesign the icon. So they're going to use, for example, the stock Firefox theme. And I think that's a good idea because there's certain branding that certain applications are trying to get through, and they probably want to respect that branding. But GNOME apps in particular are going to have a different theme. So for files, for example, we have what looks like a file cabinet as its icon. And I'll go ahead and look at some other icons here. And then under Utilities, we can see that there's actually a new terminal icon, which I do like. It's a little bit more 3D looking. And the system monitor icon was cleaned up a bit too, but there's really nothing drastic here. If you didn't like GNOME's theme before, you're probably not going to like it now. It's not all that much different. And since I'm here on the application screen, let's go ahead and take a look at the applications that we do get by default. And we don't get very many, and I think that's a good thing because we don't want too many. I mentioned Firefox already, that's the latest version, so nothing major there. It's going to be pretty much the same Firefox as you would get anywhere else. This is Firefox 66, the latest version as of the time I'm recording this video, which actually does have more integration with GNOME's theming, which is always good. And this is the start page as it is in the Fedora 30 beta. I don't know if that's going to change, but this is the default start screen that you see. And the default search is going to be Google here. So back to the application screen. Let's take a look at some other applications. So here we have GNOME boxes, which is awesome. That allows us to easily set up a virtual machine. I'll go ahead and click on that. Put in my super secret password. And I'll just click on New, just to show you the process, what this looks like. I'm going to click Download an OS. And I'll just go ahead and use Debian here. Why not? So I'll come back to this in a moment. We'll get back to the video in just a moment, guys, but before we do, I just wanted to quickly mention my sponsor, Linode. Linode is an awesome provider of cloud Linux servers, and their Cloud Manager dashboard makes it extremely easy to set up your own Linux server in seconds. Whether you like Fedora, Debian, or Ubuntu, or whatever your distribution of choice is, you can have your very own Linux server running your favorite distribution in a geographic location near you, with the latest one just recently introduced in Toronto. So go ahead and check out the link in the description below this video, where you can get $20 in credit towards your own Linux server. So go ahead and check that out, and let's get right back to the video. So I think that it's really awesome that Fedora includes GNOME boxes pre-configured out of the box. That means that right after installation, should your hardware support it, you could set up a virtual machine. And I think that's great because the target audience here is developers, system administrators, people like that, and of which I'm one as myself as well, and I appreciate this. I think that's really awesome to have virtualization supported right from the installation. So it takes the complexity out of setting up KVM. Not to say that it's actually hard. I'm sure all of you could probably figure this out. But for the most part, I'm glad to see that they took this extra step and made sure that virtualization works out of the box. I think that's actually great for their target audience. And we can see here that the media is downloading. I'm going to go ahead and let that finish. I'll just switch to a different workspace. And then we'll go back to the applications. And for the Office suite, we have LibreOffice, which is basically the default on pretty much every distribution available nowadays. So I'll go ahead and click on Writer, for example. And the version we're at is going to be 6.2, which is the latest. That's good to have. And the GNOME integration actually looks pretty good here. It definitely integrates with the rest of the distribution. So it's good to have LibreOffice installed by default. It's my Office suite of choice. I actually wrote all 4 of my books with it, so it's definitely a capable suite of software for all kinds of document processing and creation needs. So I like it quite a bit, so glad to see that's available here. And if not, it's easy to install anyway, but I always like to mention that because we're able to be productive out of the box. So we do have an Office suite, as most distributions do nowadays, but glad to see that's here as well. And then back here, HTOP is something that I installed myself, so that's not something that comes with it. We have Simple Scan for scanning documents and GNOME software, of course, because we need to be able to install applications. So let's go ahead and have a look at this. So I have not run any updates yet. This is beta, so updates could actually break it at this point. It's not final yet. But if I was to install updates, then I would basically go here to the Updates tab, and we can see that GNOME Boxes even has an update as well. Speaking of which, I should probably check on that. Where are we with the virtual machine? So it's asking me if I want to use Express Install, which I do, so I'll go ahead and type in my name here. And then I'll set the password, click Continue. And I will leave all of this as default and just click Create. And let's get back to GNOME software while that installs. So you can see that there's quite a few updates here, as would be expected with something that is being developed. So maybe after the GNOME Boxes VM installation is done, I'll go ahead and install the updates there. But here at the main tab, we can see some of the applications that are available for installation. Obviously, there's going to be quite a few more if you go to any of these categories. But for example, we have Thunderbird, so I could go ahead and install that. So I may as well do that right now, just to show the process. And you may or may not hear the fan in the video because I do have a virtual machine installation going, and now I'm installing a package. So I'm giving this laptop a little bit of work to do right now. There's going to be a lot of I/O as these tasks actually complete. So you can see that Thunderbird is installed now. So back here at the main tab, we look at a few other applications that are available for installation. Battle for Westnoth is a really fun strategy game. If you guys are interested, a lot of fun. GNOME Chess is also good. Let's go ahead and click more because I love games. What other games are available here? See, we have quite a few open source games here. Chromium, for example, not the browser, the actual shooting game. One of my favorites, actually. I'll go ahead and install this too because this is awesome. I think every Linux installation should actually have this game. Go ahead and launch it. And it's controlled completely with the mouse. And the fact that there's palm detection in the touchpad means, of course, I'm not going to be able to control this very well. But I'm going to go ahead and close the game. You get the idea. You basically just use your mouse to control where the ship is, and then the left mouse key actually does the shooting. It's a lot of fun. I definitely recommend you check it out. It doesn't take up very much hard drive space, and it's definitely a good game. So I installed a few things. You get the idea from GNOME software. So let's go ahead and check on our virtual machine installation. And then we can see here it's actually still going through the process of installation, so I'll just back out of there and let that continue. Back to the main screen here. And we're being asked if we want to enable third-party software repositories. So I definitely want to do that. Let's go ahead and see how this changes the experience. I'll click Enable. And out of curiosity, I was wondering if Google Chrome is available, so I'm going to go ahead and search for that. And it actually is, which is surprising. This was the case in the last release, actually, but Fedora hasn't really included this or facilitated this. I mean, you could always install Chrome, but they make it a lot easier as of the previous release. So if I was to go ahead and click on that, let's go ahead and install it. So I'm going to enable the third-party repository, which I did actually already tell it to do. But this is beta, so I'm going to forgive that. I'll click Enable and Install. And go ahead and run the installer for that. And we are getting an error here. It wasn't able to actually download that. But again, this is beta, so we're going to run into problems. These are going to be some things that I will check in the final installation. So I'm not going to worry about this right now. But I think that it is good that they're making this available for people that basically use Google Chrome as their default browser. So they don't have to work too hard to install it. So hopefully they get this fixed by the time this actually gets released. All right, so let's go ahead and check on the virtual machine installation. And it looks like I caught it just in the nick of time. It looks like it's done and it's actually booting up right now. So, and here we go. We have Debian 9 running in Fedora 30. How cool is that? And there it is. So overall, I think Fedora is shaping up to be a good release. I will reserve judgment until the final version is released. Actually, in May, it's coming up pretty quick. So I'm looking forward to checking out the final release. I can see that there's probably a few bugs that they're going to need to clean up. The performance is really good. I mean, GNOME 3.32 actually does have a lot of performance improvements. I have to say Ubuntu so far feels better. It feels faster in 1904. But again, this is a beta. I'm going to compare the two once they're released, and then maybe I'll release a video on that. So if you have an extra machine laying around and want to check out Fedora 30, let me know in the comments below what you think, and then I'll see you when I go ahead and review the final release in May. So thanks for watching. Thank you so much for watching my video. If you want to help me out, go ahead and check out the links in the description below, and there you'll find a link to purchase my latest book, Mastering Ubuntu Server, 2nd edition. You'll also find a link to my Patreon page, as well as my Amazon store, which includes a listing of Linux-compatible hardware that I've tested personally. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.